Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive on the Thinkcar 391. Now, this is a 10-inch tablet, and you can just see in all the glory of this beautiful screen here. But to start things off, let's go ahead and talk about the J-Box. So, the J-Box does come with a small little screen, and then you can see there a few buttons to navigate around on that screen, and then we have the Ethernet port, USB port, and a power port. Now, to jump off into the meat and potatoes of this device, it will have lifetime free updates. Yes, that is correct. You will never have to pay for updates on this device. It also comes with ADASSoftware, so then that way you can go ahead and start diagnosing EVs through the OBD2 port. Also, on that, you will also be able to go ahead and jump into ADAS calibrations that are dynamic. Now, if you want to start doing static calibrations, you are going to have to buy targets, frames, and radar plates to start to do static calibrations. If you want to know more about that, feel free to reach out to your local Advanced Auto Parts representative, or you can fill out the link down below an Advanced Auto Parts rep to reach out to you, so that way you can go forward with purchasing all of the necessary equipment. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and jump into the workflow. It is very important that as soon as you register your device, that you jump over here into the settings tab. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and click connector management. Now, you have the ability to actually utilize the VCI as a Bluetooth or a Wi-Fi communication. So if you use Wi-Fi, it is going to be a lot faster, but if you don't have Wi-Fi communication, then go ahead and click Bluetooth communication. Now, as you move on, another important tab in this is going to be the business information. Now, whenever you go and do a scan on a vehicle and you get a report back, to be able to have all of your shop's information already pre-filled out for you, you're going to want to make sure that this tab right here is filled out. So we'll go ahead and fill all of that out, and we can actually do mechanic info. And on top of that, you can actually do your security gateway down on the bottom left there, right across from the save. You can go ahead and do security gateway registration there. On top of that, you can add different technicians. And if you hit diagnostic general settings, this is another important tab. In the units tab, if you leave it as metric, which is what comes standard on this tablet, it will actually show you kilometers instead of mileage on the actual report. On top of that, it's going to give you silent update. So if you click off on silent update, your scan tool will no longer update behind the scenes. I would rather my scan tool update behind the scenes, so obviously I click that to on. Now, I would not mess with the Save To software versions, as it just adds too much on there. And then, of course, you have your font size. Some people really like the largest font size, so you can go ahead and change that here. Now, another question that I get a lot of times about different scan tools is, can I change the language on this scan tool? And what does that look like? So if you just scroll down on the settings, you'll notice that there is a language button. With this language button, you can actually change the languages to what you would like. Also, you can change the time zone directed here, and you can change the display settings on the actual home screen itself. So you can change it from light mode to dark mode, and you can even change the wallpaper from style 1 to style 2. Now, it comes default as dark mode and style 1. I prefer dark mode and style 2 for my preference here. And then, of course, there are some system general settings, which is like the USB connection mode, where you can actually project this onto a screen if you have a USB Type-C to an HDMI connector. And then on top of that, you have the time format, which is 12 hours or 24 hours. Now, let's go ahead and go back and let's jump into a diagnostic workflow for this device. Now, if you do click into Intelligent Diagnosis, you will be granted a quick diagnosis of the vehicle. But it's important to know that there are not going to be some features whenever utilizing Intelligent Diagnosis, things like freeze frame data and some other features as well. So for this demo, we are going to go over the collection model, and we're going to click All, and then we're going to click OBD2. Now, by doing this, the actual device is going to decode the vehicle. Now, once you jump into this, you will notice that you can read the IM readiness. You can actually read freeze frame. You can clear codes. You can actually do control operation of onboard component / system, and then EU OBFCM. Then, of course, you have the read live data. You can read fault codes. You can test results, and you can look at vehicle information. we are going to go back over and we are going to look at the intelligent diagnosis button. So we're going to hit Smart Scan. So now once the scanner gets done decoding the VIN, you're going to be presented with the system topology screen. Now there's a few things that you can do within this screen here. So one, you can actually click on a module and it will tell you exactly what it is, and then you can enter into that module directly from the screen. Now if you click anywhere else on the screen other than the enter button, you'll be granted back to this screen here. And you'll notice at the top, there is system list, multi-system data stream, common special functions, online programming, and then other functions. Now, while this scan tool can do some programming applications, from this screen right here, it is not recommended to click the online programming, as it's just going to scan all of the modules and see if they need an update. So going back to system topology, we're going to also go ahead and click Smart Scan. Now you can do a full system scan and then you can do a choose to scan, but a Smart Scan will do all of the modules all at once. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm not going to edit any of the portion of this video because I want to make sure that you guys see just how fast this device is at scanning and reading DTC codes. So now that it has done the full scan, it will immediately bring you over to the all system diagnostic report. Now, up at the top right, you'll notice that there is a QR code that you can scan that will bring you directly to this report. It'll give you the time and the date. It also will go ahead and input the shop info here. And then obviously it will go ahead and decode all the vehicle information. And then we have one of the cool things about Thinkcar. You can get an AI analysis on this full report here. So all you have to do is click AI analysis and it will directly start to analyze exactly the full on report. Now, some of it is going to look a little bit like this here, as you can see on screen, but we're gonna go ahead and go back and we're gonna go ahead and show you the rest of this report. So it's gonna give you the DTC codes for every single one of these. And it's also going to tell you, as noted here, there are systems on this vehicle that support ADAS. So if you do have ADAS on a vehicle, it will directly show you here. Notate, if you are working on a vehicle and there are DTC codes in an ADAS system, more than likely you will have to do an ADAS calibration. For an example, this vehicle here. We will have to do an ADAS calibration after we get done. Now, the beautiful thing about this scan tool is it does have ADAS capabilities and EV capabilities. So we will be able to do that for a lifetime. So no matter what we come across, we should be able to do it unless it's a static. And then we just need to add targets and ADAS frame to our shop. All of this, including the scan tool, can be bought through Advanced Auto Parts. Let's go back here. And we're going to go into system list, and through system list, you can actually do the drop down. So this is how you can see sections here and systems. And then let's just go ahead and go into data streams. Okay, now that we're into this, we can actually click multiple different data streams, all the way up to 40 different data streams on this device. So what's really neat is we're not just going to get data streams from the engine control module. We're actually going to be able to get data streams from all over the place. So maybe they're all tied in together if we're diagnosing a DTC code. So maybe in the engine control module, maybe we want to see the ECT sensor and the engine RPM. But then in the transmission control module, we actually want to see the actual vehicle speed, and we want to see the relative TP sensor. And then let's go ahead and go over to the ABS, and we want to know what all of the ABS speed sensors are. And we want to know if the yaw rate sensor is working as well. Now we're going to go into the integrated driver support system, and we're going to click just a few of these just to see everything that we want to. Now, once we've clicked what we wanted to of this, we can go ahead and get all of the values directly here. Now, there's something even better about this device. With it being a 10-inch screen, it's going to make it a lot easier to see all of these data streams going at once. And if we want, we can actually graph all of this data. So now, instead of having to combine it because we don't have enough real estate on the screen to see everything, we now have enough real estate to see all 13 of these, which is really, really cool. And then on top of that, if you did for some reason want to combine all of them, you could actually combine them here and actually see them. Now, going back, we'll notice that there is a record button. So you can hit the little record button and record while you're driving in case you want to record something at a vehicle speed. Now, as we go back, we can also look into the common special functions directly from this page, and we can see all of the special functions that are here, along with ADAS calibration. Now, obviously, I already went over the online programming earlier, and then there are other functions that we can do here. So now that we're back at the home screen, I would like to go over the remote diagnose button. So if you're having a difficult time with a certain DTC or getting something cleared, you can actually pay someone to help to fix that code. On top of that, you can do refit. You can also do TPMS, anti-theft matching, and new energy. Pretty neat feature for the price of this scan tool. Now, if you add on the TPMS wand, you can go ahead and diagnose TPMS. Then we have CAN bus pin detection. So you can look at all of the pins on the OBD2 port and ensure that they're all operating as designed. On the top here, we're going to also notice that there is a maintenance tab. So if we click the maintenance tab, you're going to have all of your service functions and maintenance functions there. So if you want to do a DPF regen, it is directly right there. So then that way you can get that done. Now, it is important to know that in Repair Info tab, you will notice that there is a Gateway Unlock tab. So if you enter this, you can actually go in, utilizing T-code exchanges, you can actually access Renault and Maserati. The little upgrade tab is just to update your scan tool and the software that's in it. And then if you hit the other tab, you're gonna notice that you can buy a battery tester, a video scope, a PTC 207, and even a programmer to add on to this device.